Hello and welcome back, Cozy Club. As always, it is a beautiful day for some DSA, and it is great to have you guys back here at the club. Now, in today's video, we're going to cover and kind of take another look at both Wally and Eve, because outside of that first impressions video, I have not got to tell you guys how the testing on Twitch has been going and plugging them into a bunch of different tech lineups. Now, I want to talk about if they're worth farming, if they're worth going after in the first place, and if they're going to fit nicely with the already Big Hero 6 teams that many of you guys already have. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's jump right into today's video, taking a look at both Eve and Wally and some teams and characters that they're fitting in nicely with. First, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Eve. We've done this on the video. If you want the complete breakdown, you can go ahead and check up above for that video. Again, don't mind the finger here. We're going to go ahead and kind of look at her abilities and where I think she fits in best. Now, I can already tell you without any spoilers that by far, Eve is going to be the better of the bunch between both Wally and Eve. Eve is definitely that machine gun Eve that we've been talking about, and definitely packs a punch with the tech characters and fits in nicely as an offense kind of support character. Now, looking at her abilities here and looking at Eve as a whole, great stats like we talked about. She fits in nicely and kind of survives a lot more than I thought she would in the battlefield. And looking at these abilities, if you guys have unlocked Eve or if you're looking to unlock Eve, definitely just going to go through these quickly. You'll want to go ahead and get this basic nice and leveled up. This is going to be really where you're going to use Eve within the battlefield and her main function on the battlefield. Now, I would go ahead and invest all of the upgrades into here while looking at these other ones. Scan for signs of life. Sometimes I don't even have the option to get this out in battle, but it is nice to get those vulnerables out there for some big damage. Taking a look at Sonic Boom, it's a fantastic ability that has a huge AoE damage. That big turn meter removal is great to kind of throw her into a bunch of different squads because it gives your team such a big advantage if they're not the fastest like Oceanics, and if they need to kind of catch up to the villains or to the tech opponents that they are fighting. Now, love her for that plug and play ability. Great in the raid. Both of the passives, I'll be honest, directive, kind of wonky. You take the continuous healing, but it's a little too late if it's going to an ally that's about to die. So I really wouldn't focus on catching this up too much. And then lastly, you do have love at first beep to go ahead and revive Wally if he does die. So is Eve worth going after? Well, I'm going to go ahead and answer that pretty easily. Yes, she is. If you're going to go and already have these tech characters with the Big Hero 6 faction, you definitely want to go ahead and go the extra mile, get Gizmo, and start slow farming that Eve. Now, she's not mandatory. You're not going to have her. There's still some great options. Running full Big Hero 6 is still very viable, so you don't have to go after her, but she definitely is a great offense character if that's what you're looking for altogether. And now, looking at her counterpart, her lover, Wally, he's not going to be worth it. And I'll tell you why, and it's not his fault necessarily. Let's go ahead and let's jump in again and take a big look at Wally and why I just don't think he's worth going after at the moment. Now, first of all, he's got sick dance moves. You got to give him that. But let's just talk about what I think Wally does best and how Wally and Eve were supposed to fit into the tech faction. Now, first and foremost, both their basics, we talked about it. The basic with laser cannon, it hits like a truck. We've seen insane damage on stream with this thing. And then you have Wally's basic laser cutter that's supposed to complement that each and every time it fires. However, this is the biggest disclaimer and my biggest issue with Wally at the moment, Cozy Club, and that's going to be laser cutter is not working as intended. If you read right here, if Eve is a teammate, when Eve uses her basic attack, 80% chance to go ahead and assist. This is what we really built everything to be with this team, this constant assist team. We're going to put all these tech characters together, but Wally is not assisting correctly. So Wally right now is only assisting on Eve's turn, and that really is hurting his viability. If Wally truly was going to assist every time Eve did the big laser cannon, that would be a different story, as you're going to get a ton of purges out there, some extra damage to go ahead and knock off the little bit of health they have left, and altogether, we were going to have our first true assist team that was a lot of fun to use. And now there are some other tech teams that we've made without Wally that have kind of made this cool assist team, but it's a big disappointment that this ability is not working as intended. Now, I will say, if you look and read the text correctly, I think this is just a bug and they're going to have to fix it. And they do have some character bugs they've got to knock out before we get any legendaries or anything like that. And this is just one of them. This is the most vital piece of Wally's kit, and it definitely has to get fixed. And if it does in this video and it's already been fixed by the time you're watching this, then awesome. Wally's probably going to be a solid character. Looking at the rest of his abilities and what he has to offer, waste allocation is pretty nice. It's a little bit of a Pocahontas. Doesn't quite do kind of how it read. It doesn't take all the debuffs like 5 slows and put it on the enemy, but it still is nice to have a big debuffer or a big cleanser, if you will, on the tech faction, because outside of Baymax, they are lacking that. And typically, your opponent is going to hyper-focus your Baymax. So, waste allocation, nice damage, not the worst ability. I do use this from time to time within the battle. Now, I will say, one thing I do like is Eve is going to go ahead and laser cannon both Ursula eels on the battlefield when it starts. And so, you get those blinds right away. Wally can at least clear those blinds and put them on, dealer's choice or in Ursula's silence, some quick turn cleansing. He's super fast, way faster than Poca. So to go ahead and get those silences and those blinds out on the enemy is a nice touch, but you're typically going to want to use recharge before any other ability. Recharge is great. It gets Wally moving pretty dang fast. And then on top of all of that, and that's with his passive, but on top of all of that, you're also going to get this great shield, which isn't too much, but this 65% chance to gain one magic ability is absolutely clutch. Now, let me just say this. Gizmo does this exact ability with a taunt, probably and arguably a little bit better. However, I do like Wally to fit in with Eve if that basic attack is going to work. Love feeding this ability over to people like Wasabi or Eve to get that first turn, big AoE turn meter reduction. And yes, both the speed passive and this self-sustaining passive are really great passives as a whole altogether. So all in all, he does have some great things going for him, but we've got to have the basic attacks working, because I'm about to show you guys some team comps that if they all work together, you guys are going to see some really powerful combinations coming out of it. All right, now hopping on over and looking at some teams that you can make up with the new tech faction. And we're going to kind of be talking mainly about Wally and Eve here, mainly Eve as the hyper focus. If you guys want to see a best tech team video like we've done with the Oceanics and Mythicals, let me know and I would love to get that out there. However, looking at some of the teams, this team is going to have some massive potential. One of the shining highlights with Wally and Eve coming out is the tremendous boost in Sergeant Calhoun. Now, a lot of you guys know the big use for Calhoun. She's amazing in the raids. Haven't made a video, don't really want to talk about that all too much. But what I will tell you is that all of her abilities have something great to utilize. Now, first of all, the big relentless assault. Eve is going to go ahead and use her basic so many times and so effectively, and you're able to just melt down Hercules with that ability. Gotta love that. She doesn't have the best survivability, but you get yourself a nice auto taunt, and in addition, you obviously have the best possible passive to synergize with Eve. Now, we talked about this passive when Eve did come out and Sergeant Calhoun having some great synergy. And let me tell you guys, the straight crazy amount of assists that you can see come out of these two is absolutely bonkers. You have Eve firing off some crazy huge basic attacks. That's going to have Calhoun assist with the big assault rifle. And then from time to time, when Wally does assist, you're going to see some great damage that's really capable of taking out any character within the game. Now, Wally is not working as intended like we talked about, but if Wally does work with those basic attacks and with Eve, these three is enough to get the job done and enough to get plenty of damage out on the field. Now, some other teams I do like if Wally and with him not working at the moment, Gizmo can fit in this spot pretty nicely. Obviously, let's go to the tech faction here and take a look at Go-Go. Go-Go is going to fit great here because of all of the critical hits she puts out. Eve is going to really be able to capitalize on that. And with Go-Go, I really enjoy, if it's not Sergeant Calhoun, just making this an easy Barley Bomb. Now, we've talked about Barley Bombs. Go-Go has been a Barley Bomb we've talked about for quite a while. And this thing just works out perfectly. So all together, Cozy Club, you've got some great tech teams starting to get kind of formulated, and it's not just Big Hero 6, and that's nice to see. I love the super assisting girl squad with Calhoun and Eve, and if they do fix Wally, I think we've got ourselves, again, a very nice assist team. One thing that they do well is that if you look at Anna, she's great at kind of lowering those cooldowns, and I love that Gizmo and Wally can both do the same for the tech faction. That allows some great synergy. You can have a early taunt with Gizmo, you can get Wasabi here, get his green Blades of Fury going really fast, and then you got yourself Eve to capitalize on the hits. The best part about Eve and Wally is that they do not want anything to do with the summoning units on the battlefield, so Conjuring Cauldron will never last more than a literal second, and if you've got Eels, Raja, any summonable units, they're going down. Again, my friends, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on how Wally and Eve are doing. I am at Disneyland, actually, so this is when I'm here. I'm at the Magic Kingdom itself, and we'll be live streaming that on Friday, and then I'll be coming back and doing some tech team guide videos to really walk you guys through some live PvP. My friends, hopefully you kind of learned about Wally and Eve, and if they're worth going after, I'll keep you guys updated if they do fix Wally's basic, and definitely I hope so, because he does have some real potential. My friends, hopefully you like the team guides. We've got the big farming guide coming any day now, and until next time, my friends, stay cozy.